In the previous units, we have already discussed what is future values. Now let's look at the definition. A dollar in hand today is worth more than a dollar to be received in the future, because if you had it now, you could invest it, earn interest, and end up with more than a dollar in the future. So this is what we discussed, but through an example. So if you have 100 rupees right now, you can invest it right now and you will then have more money in the future. So the present value is the value right now and the future value is the value in the future. The R over here represents the interest rate and N is the number of years. Now the process of going to future values, FVs, from present values, PVs, is called compounding. You have already gone through this process. So now let's do some practice questions. A person deposited 500,000 for 1 year in account at 12%. How much he has in an account after 1 year? So over here, first thing is to always understand your data. A person deposited 500,000 for 1 year. So the present value over here is 500,000, because of course you're going to deposit the amount right now. So your timeline is you are going to deposit 500,000 right now, and you want to know what will be the future value 1 year later. So you want to figure out the future value. The R over here is 12% and the number of periods is 1. So 0 to 1 represents one time period. So over here you have N, 1 year. Now over here it doesn't say simple interest or compound interest, but like I already said, most of the financial products are based on compound interest. So all your calculations from now onwards will follow your compound interest formula, which is this. So present value is 500,000. 1 plus R, your interest rate is 12% and your N is 1. So if you calculate this, and I'm going to solve this, so this will be 1.12. 560,000 is your future value. So if you deposit 500,000, 1 year later it will become 560,000 because it is invested at the 12% interest rate. Going on to question number 2. A person deposited 500,000 for 2 years in account at 12%. How much he has an account after 2 years? So over here it is the same values, but now you're interested in how much he will have in his account after 2 years. Sorry about that. So the present value is still the same, 500,000. Your R is still the same, but your N is now 2 years. So you can use the same formula. You simply have to change the N to 2 over here. 500,000 is the present value, the R is 0.12, but now you want to know the value 2 years later. Over here this is calculated and it is coming 1.2544. This is your compound factor. And the final future value you get is 627,200. So now if you look at graphically, what's happening is, so let me just open a note. Right now you are depositing 500,000. 1 year later the value will become 560,000, and 2 years later the value will become 6,27,200 invested at the 12% rate. So this is how your timeline is going. Discard this. Now moving ahead, suppose you currently have 2,000 and plan to purchase a 3-year certificate of deposit that pays 4% interest compounded annually. How much will you have when the CD matures? So currently you have 2,000 and you plan to purchase a 3-year certificate of deposit. So what you will do is you will deposit basically these 2,000, and in exchange you will get a certificate that will pay an interest of 4% compounded annually. It's the same as depositing a money in a bank account, but it is in the form of certificate. So once the 3 years are over, the certificate is going to end and you will get the principal amount back along with the interest as well. You will get the interest every year as well. So this 2,000 will get an interest of 4%. So let's first make it on a timeline so that you're very clear with the concept of compound interest and what is interest on interest. So on this 2,000 you will get an interest of 4%. That means you will get 80. So at the end of the first year the value will become 2080. Now next year you will get interest on this 2080. So your value after adding the interest, let me just first calculate this. This is 83.2. So 2080 plus 83.2 will become 2163.2. Similarly, you will get interest on this now. So 2163.2 multiplied it by 4%. Your answer is coming 63. 86.53. So added in this 2163.2, this will become 2249.7. So this is how we did it on a timeline. The other way of doing is to use the formula approach. This is the formula. The present value is 2,000. The interest rate is 4% and N is 3. This is your future value. This is your present value and this is the future value at the end of the third year.